Bienvenidas, bienvenidos. This is a sacred time. It is called the time between days or the time between time. It is a time of year that we celebrate and we remember our ancestors. We celebrate harvest. We remember who we are, where we come from, and we honor those who have come before us. It is a sacred time of year, and we're going to talk about it. But first, this is Latina Literati. These days of harvest are a time of preparation for the winter to come. They are a time to simply be and to remember those who have existed before us, because it is said that during this time the veil between the next world and ours is the thinnest. It is a time to remember all of those who have made our existence possible. Think of the thousands of people who had to live and had to struggle and had to be in order for you to be here, and what that means in terms of our obligations to ensure that we leave this earth a little bit better than we found it. So no matter how you're celebrating, there are many, many different celebrations we're going to talk about today, and we're just going to talk about a couple of highlights. There are many, many more. It's important to understand that it's a time to gather, and it's also a time of remembrance, a time to think of those who have walked on, who are no longer with us. However you may mark this traditional time of harvest, traditional time of remembrance, gathering with your loved ones, preparing your altar, understanding that it's a time of reflection. However you celebrate this, it's a special time, and so mark these days. Take time to gather with those that you care about. Throughout the world, people are marking these days, these special harvest days together. For example, the Ghanaian Yam Festival. There is a yam harvest, and in Ghana, traditional feasts are held and people celebrate together. There are, of course, the North African festivals of the fig gathering and the olive gathering throughout wherever olives are harvested. People come together, they celebrate, they harvest together, and then they feast. Also, wherever wine is produced, this is the harvest crush of the grapes. And it is also a time to celebrate, to see the harvest come together and enjoy the bountiful fruits of our labor. Native Americans celebrate the green corn ceremony. Some say it's the origins of what is called in North America Thanksgiving. So Native Americans come together to celebrate the bounty of the corn harvest and also the preparation, the drying of foods in preparation for the coming winter months. In most of Europe, there were harvest festivals, many times paid for by the ruler of the area, where the different harvests would be put into wherever they were going to be stored for the winter, and then there would be festivals and lots of merrymaking and feasts. So again, it's almost a human need, as we are so close to agriculture, we depend on it for our food, to celebrate these times when harvests are bountiful and abundant. That spirit of gratitude, we come together to celebrate, whether it's in your home or somewhere else. We also want you to think about those who may not be able to have the bounty of harvest, and think about ways of supporting those in need as well. This special time is a time of celebration. It's a time of remembrance of who we are, of what our ancestors would have wanted for us. Truly, they would have wanted peace and dignity for all. They would have wanted us to share our bounty, to gather and celebrate, and remember them, of course. This is a time when, if you're preparing an altar, it's a beautiful time of year to celebrate. I've attended several celebrations, and I'm sharing some of those clips with you here for Dia de Los Muertos. If Dia de los Muertos teaches us anything, it is that we must live each day to its fullest, and we must take time to tell each other how we feel. Communication is central to any celebration, and so tell others how you feel, and that you'd like to gather with them, that you care for them, and also speak to your ancestors. I do all the time. Let them know what guidance you may need. It is a time of remembrance. It is a time to gather. So take the time in this transition of seasons to really look at your life and where it is and where you'd like it to go, because our ancestors are there to guide us and they understand what we need. We wish you all the blessings of the season, and we hope that during this time of transition, this time of gathering, of celebration, that you and yours have a wonderful, wonderful celebration together. And now for my favorite part of the video, the book recommendations. However you may celebrate this time of transition, this time of harvest celebration, this time of our ancestors, I thought it would be of interest to you to recommend two wonderful cookbooks. And the first is, of course, called The Harvest Cookbook. Wonderful book of ways to celebrate the harvest with your loved ones and to enjoy dishes, new dishes that you may not have tried before. The second cookbook is called The Half-Baked Cookbook. And again, a way to look at perhaps recipes that you haven't tried and you might want to try as you gather together with your loved ones. So thank you so much for joining us on this video. We would love you to subscribe to Latina Literati. We would love to hear from you. What are you reading? What are you doing to celebrate in this time of harvest and remembrance? Let us know. We would love to hear from you. Mucho cariño, mucho amor. Muchas gracias.